Hello, thanks for joining us. This is Platform. I'm Ruth Agowele. The world, keeps evolving. And one critical aspect of this evolution that births new trends is the internet, which has become a part of humanity, as most businesses thrive on the internet. Not forgetting millions of individuals who spend most of their time surfing the net for different reasons. However, just as there are gains, there are also setbacks when cybercrime is involved. Like many other countries, Nigeria is also confronted with various forms of cybercrimes, from hacking, identity theft, ransomware attacks, online fraud, you name it. Now, these cyber threats can result in significant financial losses, personal data breaches, and reputational damage to individuals. Businesses and the government are not left out. According to a study, cyber attack occurs globally once in every 39 seconds, with an estimated 30,000 websites being hacked on a daily basis. Nigeria's regulatory organizations have taken deliberate steps to build security and privacy processes, but the attackers are equally devising new strategies. Many financial institutions had to rethink their cybersecurity approach and strategy. With the increasing digitization of various sectors and the pervasive use of the internet, Nigeria faces a range of cybersecurity challenges that needs to be addressed effectively. Therefore, cybersecurity is crucial, and protecting critical infrastructure, financial institutions, and businesses from cyber threats is vital for sustaining the nation's economic development. Now, the growing unease about the state of cyber and personal security, talking about enhancing cybersecurity in Nigeria, is our focus on Platform. And our guest is Dr. Oluwayomi Godwin, a cybersecurity, ethnical hacking, forensic investigation, and data protection consultant. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
All right. Before we bring in our panelists, let's tell you who Dr. Ashogbon is. He is the president, CEO of Global Tech World Professional Limited, a certified ethical hacker, forensic investigator, prolific writer, legal advisor, an IT expert, cybersecurity arbitrator, capacity builder, humanitarian, and a certified management consultant. Dr. Ashogbon holds PhD in IT cybersecurity, Master's Information Technology, Master in International Law and Diplomacy, Honorary Doctorate Degree in Theology Causa, Doctorate Degree of Science. He's a Chartered Information Technology Practitioner of Nigeria, Member of Computer Professional of Nigeria, Fellow of the Institute of Management Consultant, Certified Management Consultant, Certified Management Specialist from London Graduate School, among other reputable certified bodies. Dr. Ashogbon is an IT consultant to several companies and schools across the country and has trained more than 70,000 Nigerians on cybersecurity.
Thank you so much.
And your CV is very impressive, I must say.
Thank you.
All right, our panelist is someone new, Tina Abeku. She's a reporter with the Guardian newspaper. Tina, thank you so much for joining us on Platform.
It's a pleasure.
It's a pleasure to have you here. Now, Dr. Godwin, can I stick with Godwin? Because the other name is a tongue twister for me. All right, cybersecurity, not new to Nigeria. When we want to look at the benefits of the internet, like I said in my intro, a lot of businesses thrive. People have devised one means or the other. It's just a part of our existence right now. But cybersecurity is very important. If we want to look at national development and all of that, how would you paint a picture? What is the narrative for Nigeria looking at cybercrimes now before we delve into cybersecurity?
Thanks so much, Tina. I want to say that cybersecurity is just like what Nigeria is still imagining, but unfortunately is with us here.
You're talking about cybercrime?
Crime, yes. The cybercrime, Nigeria is still imagining it, but unfortunately is here with us. And one other unfortunate thing is borderless. Why do I say it's borderless? In Nigeria, we have a lot of borders. The soldiers are there, the Nigerian police are there to safeguard the borders. But when it comes to cybercrime, it is borderless. So the question is, who are the people that governments have assigned to take care of the borderless cyberspace? And this is one of the reasons why Nigerians from any location, any geographical location, whatever you mentioned it, are prone to this attack. Recent occurrences will tell you where hackers hacked Nigerians from US. From US, they hack India. India hacked Japan. Nigeria is not exclusive. But the major problem here is the borderless fence.
How do you regulate such?
How do you regulate the borderless fence?
You can only build the fences.
And the invisible fences. Another problem is the hackers in most cases operate at night. When most of your devices are on and you are sleeping. You're already asleep, so they are not sleeping. And if you may permit me to give you like the 5 stages in hacking, for instance. Before a crime is committed, there are 5 stages that must be carried out for successful hacking. The first one is reconnaissance, or you call it footprinting. But in an English term, you call it information gathering information. But in hacking world, we call it reconnaissance. Now, some hackers can be in your territory gathering information about you. Gathering information about you for 3 years. Depend on how valuable the information they want to get from you. After that, we go into scanning. The scanning has to do with the stages where tools are employed to carry out further scanning for effective hacking. Now, after this, the next thing is to gain access. To gain access. This is where the attack comes in. And when the attack comes in, it is not necessary it's known to you. And unfortunately, you can be operating a phone, and the attackers are also operating it. And after that, the next thing is maintain access. The attackers will maintain access. Take, for instance, when your WhatsApp is hacked. At the time your WhatsApp is hacked, the WhatsApp as the application will be disabled on your own phone, and it will be enabled on the hacker's phone. At this particular time, the hacker is in control. He will maintain access for nothing less than 9 hours. Even when you report this to the, to the WhatsApp as a company, they will tell you you have to wait till the next 9 hours. Within these 9 hours, the hackers will deem it fit, because these are intelligent and strategic guys. We download all your contacts and send warm emotional messages to them for them to begin to show sympathy. After they get maintaining access, they will clear tracks. And that is another problem. Today, even you are hacked in the bank, for instance. Go to the bank, the next thing they will tell you, we've reported this case to the fraud unit. And by the time you get there after 48 hours, you come back in the next 2 weeks. After that, you come back in the next 3 weeks. A time will come, you will like, okay, let go. A lot of Nigerians are victims of this, because the hackers, after operation, they clear tracks.
Well, before we delve into the measures, I'm sure Tina wants to come in there.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
This is quite a very interesting exposition here.
Yes.
We know that these attackers would follow your footprints.
Absolutely.
So what are the red flags for users of the internet, of the space? How can they clear their footprints to avoid being monitored?
Yes. One of the ways you can clear your footprint, for instance, if you make use of email, for example, on a system probably known to, owned by you or somebody else. After working with this email, you are expected to sign out, to log out and sign out. You log out and you signed out. That's one. After you do this, there is a button that shows remove this mail from the list. You also click on that point to remove your mail from the list. In other words, anytime they open that browser, your name, your email will not be among the email.
I see that all the time.
Yes. It will not be among the names or among the email that will be on the list. Number two, you are to go to the history and the cookies of your browser and delete. Take for instance.
How do you do that?
Yes, it's very simple. There is a 3 button at the right angles of the browser. 3 buttons, just like the way you have in WhatsApp.
Yes,
You click on it. Among the list that will appear, you will see settings. You click on settings, and you click on it, you will see history. Okay. Then when you click on history, history will give the report of all the sites you have visited and everything you have done for that day, for that week, for that month, even for that year.
Wow.
So you are meant to go there and delete. Okay, let me paint a scenario. You are using a system, and after using a system, you believe this system belongs to you. Nobody can come and take this system. All right?
Maybe because you have a password.
Well, maybe because you have a password.
Yes.
Okay, you work on this system. In most cases, you don't log out because it belongs to you.
Sure.
Yes.
Now, you believe that why will I be cracking my brain whenever I need to work on my browser in my system? Now, this is the irony of it. When you do that and you refuse to sign out or log out, when the hackers comes, even if the browser has been closed, as they on this browser and the computer in question is connected to the internet,
Yes.
they don't need to log in again.
Wow.
All they need to do is to click on that 3 buttons and go to the history and see all you have done and the unsigned out email. As they click on it, it opens at its whim and caprices.
Ooh.
Then the hackers will start operation.
Wait, hold on. Let me get this straight, because what you're breaking down
Wow.
is, very dicey. Now, are you saying it's not about the hacker coming directly on your system from their own computer? They can hack in from anywhere.
Yes, there are
So
two
how
types
is
of
that
attack.
possible? Yes, because
Yeah.
my email is known to me. I don't know the hacker because these are unknown faces. We don't know.
Yes.
So how did they get or gain access to my email from wherever part of the world I am? Because we're saying that oftentimes the speed and the power of modern information technology
Yes.
complicates the detection and the investigation. So somebody can be in Nigeria,
Yeah.
and how do you hack an email or a system from another place?
Okay.
So
Now, as a cybersecurity expert, you need to know this. There are 2 types of attack. And in the first place, in hacking world, what is attack? Attack is equals to, mathematically, is equals to goal and method. Goal plus method. Goal is the objective. Why do I want to hack? Is it for financial gain? Is it for identity theft? Is it for ransomware? Is it for disruption of service? These are goals. Is it for political blackmailing? These are goals. And the method is now the tools employed to carry out the goal on the cyberspace. Now, come to the question that you asked. There are 2 types of hacking. We have passive hacking and active hacking. The active hacking is when I'm connected directly to your system or to your network. I am very close at a proximity to your system. Then I can carry out the hacking. The passive hacking is the hacking of someone being in US, hacking a person, hacking a target in Nigeria. And how does this happen? Now, we develop a payload. We call it a payload, which you popularly know as malware. What is malware? Malware is malicious software. Malicious software. When this is developed, we send this to the victim. What we need the victim to do is to click. I'm explaining active now. Now, all I need to do is to send a payload to you in form of application. When I send this to you in form of application, you need to click. Take for example, how do I make it to click? I can be in an environment, NTA for instance. If I want to hack the staff, or hackers want to carry out operations in this environment, to hack, so they'll hack like 10 to 20 staff at random. This is what they will do. There's a device. For security reasons, I may not mention it. This device will be on, and the SSID of that device, which we call Service Set Identifier, and that's what you call hotspots. Service Set Identifier is the name you see anytime you on your Wi-Fi. Now, I'm going to name this Service Set Identifier as NTA. So anybody coming around clicks on this hotspot, believing that it's owned by NTA. And this particular hotspot will be made open for easy connection. It will be made open for easy connection. So when it is opened, you click on it, there's no stress of putting any password. Then you get connected. Then a device will not be employed to start dissecting how can we copy out the files, how can we copy out this, how can we do this. That is why at times you own a system and you have some private pictures. These private pictures can be collected from your phone, can be collected from your system. And at the long run, you'll be called, who owns this picture? The first thing that will come to your memory is that how does this picture get out of my phone and my laptop?
Wow, that's a very interesting thing out here.
How does it get? Meanwhile, as at the time you clicked, the Metasploit has opened this section of your system to us. Then, let me also say this for the sake of those who are watching. Henceforth, buy a black masking tape, that black.
The black one.
The black one. Please, buy it and always cover the camera of your phone.
Why?
The camera of your laptop.
Okay, I thought you said my phone because
of your laptop.
You want to take
Of
pictures
your laptop.
sometimes.
Because oftentimes your boss gave you an assignment and you need to do at night. And you are probably undressed.
Oh.
And you are working on the laptop. So you believe the only person around you is either your husband or your children. But I want to tell you that if hackers come into your premises unknown to you, the first thing they do is to on the camera from wherever they are. Wow. There is a software that will on the camera from wherever they are. And when the camera is on, this is unnoticed to you that, what exactly is happening? Why is my camera on, even at night? At that particular time, there are commands we issue that will snap you. They will copy the image.
Dr. Godwin, you're making this so scary. Tina, you want to ask a question?
Well, the malware discussion we're just having is such that I'm sure a lot of people are falling victim to. No, I think we should go on with the passive so that he gives us the solution.
Okay. Now, for passive hacking or attacks, nobody in question is targeted. No person in question is targeted. But if you are victim, if you are lover of this, downloading games online, be careful. 2, if you are a lover of accessing bonus that never exists, because hackers are intelligent people, they want to work. Their imagination is, what can I do to entice these people? Okay, for example, maybe I want to hack women. Maybe my target now is women. Then what are the terms that women will hear that they were embraced? Number 1, cash out. Shop for free. Are you with me? Cash out or shop for free. Then I create a payload and I call it shop for free. I attach a link to it. Then post it to several emails. Even if this file appears on your spam mail, what you are much after is shop for free. Then you click on shop for free. Meanwhile, shop for free has been attached with malicious, malware. As you click on this, it automatically gets installed on your system.
I know there's so much you want to break down, but and from what you're explaining, these cyber crimes have gone beyond the conventional methods. They bring in new threatening ramifications that you're exposing now to us, and it can be scary. But looking at the situation for Nigeria, let's look at organizations, let's look at individuals, how they can protect their spaces, because we must get involved in our cyberspace. But the cybersecurity is very important. How do, for instance, now an organization, you know, for other developed countries, it's very easy because they have the technology to put a stop to some of this.
Absolutely.
You can't end it, but you can curb it.
Absolutely.
So, but what should organizations be looking out for, you know, going forward?
Yes. Before I answer your question, it's so alarming that today, 5.3 billion users are connected to the internet. From all research, 5.3 billion people. In Nigeria, we have 122 million connected to the internet. In Ghana, in Egypt, 80.7. In South Africa, 43.4. And in Morocco, 33.1. Now, this group of people that you mentioned now, the government, the organization, the individuals, how can they protect themselves from this great menace? Number one, you have to avoid being a threat to your data. Avoid being a threat to your data. That's the first thing. How do you solve this problem? You see, oftentimes people come to the public space or public domain to begin to make calls. I have just deposited certain amount of millions into an account in the public space. You are a threat to your data. Number two, when you use a very weak password, women are victims of this, and they, because of the emotional nature of women generally, women does not like cracking their brains in using password to protect anything they have. If I meet a woman...
Not all women.
No, okay, let me agree with you. If I meet a woman, for instance, if you, in less than 2 days, you will know her password. Yes. The woman either use her age for password, or her sons for password, or the last boy in the house for password. If the woman talks much about her father, she has used her father's name as the password.
Interesting.
And if she loves her husband more than her father or any other person, the husband's name or the age is what?
Dr. Gordon, I'll say, well, 70% or 80% right, but not completely all women.
Well, definitely.
Some use numbers.
Okay, can we use numbers?
Numbers and alphabets, you know.
So some use numbers, but these numbers are related to things.
Don't forget, we have women who are also
in cyber world.
Yes,
definitely.
So
women in cyber world, women in cyber world is just 5%, and that is why I want to use this opportunity to encourage women to come into cyber world space, because right now all over the world we are short of over 3 million experts in the field. We're short of over 3 million experts in the field, and if you look at the statistics, women are just even less than 5%. Because you have to be above board. Now, you have to stop being a threat to your data. When you make use of your phone, and there is something you are downloading or you are installing, and the next thing you see is save this password, don't save. If you save, you are a threat. Because the day the phone is picked from you, that is the first thing. You see, the problem is that a lot of people, when their phone is stolen, the hackers open the phone, and there is no need for them to enter password, because you have automatically saved this password on that phone. So at a click of that app, it opens and they start transferring. And they start transferring. And in most cases, when probably the PIN number is asked, the PIN number is always your age. If you are born in 1970-something, you put 1970-something because it's 4 digits. Because you don't want to engage in permutation, because if something is 6 digits or 4 digits, you can actually arrange them in 24 ways. Then you pick the one at the middle to enter. So that whoever that is guessing this number will not guess right. But when you are born in 1970 or 1975 or 1980, and the next thing, the person, because don't forget, we have what we call man in the middle attack. These are people that are close to us. A friend of yours in cybersecurity is a threat.
With this large expanse of exposure of users of the internet to being defrauded, how safe and how strong are firewalls? Are these firewalls really protecting anyone at all? And what sort of firewalls in the first place can we even put up to protect our devices and information out there?
When you talk about firewall, it's just 2 words, 2 compound words, fire and wall. But I can tell you there are a lot of tools to disable firewalls and makes firewall to be water wall. And that is why you have to top your securities. Apart from building a firewall and window defender, you still go ahead to hide your files. You still go ahead to encrypt your files. You still go ahead to bitlock your files. If you are using Mac, you file vault your file. In Windows, you bitlock it. In Windows environment, click on the search button at the taskbar, type BitLocker. It will appear. The BitLocker is just like a padlock where you kept all your files and it will encrypt your files. You keep the encryption code, so anytime you want to log in, you log in and you enter the keys to access your files. Apart from that, you still need to go ahead to install licensed, valid antivirus. I repeat, licensed, valid antivirus.
Yes, because the virus is another tricky one, and when that penetrates your system, there's no going back. It clears everything from findings.
Yes, the virus is a member of malware. Malware is the compound name. We have virus that replicates itself, we have Trojan, we have worm, we have spyware. These are members of the family of malware. But because you don't want this to happen in your environment, you need to install licensed, valid antivirus. Now I'll explain. When you go to the market, for instance, and you bought pirated antivirus, you have not bought antivirus, you have just bought a virus. You have just bought a virus. Because the real virus, the real antivirus code and files does not come with the CD that you purchased. Yes.
But we get to see the pirated ones everywhere.
That's something.
So where do you get the licensed ones?
The licensed one is in the market, and it's expensive. You can as well also purchase this online. Do you get it now? It's expensive. That's why people opt for the pirated copy. Like for instance, when you purchase an antivirus, NTA for instance, I'm sure you have close to 300 computers in this environment. And somebody go to the market and bought an antivirus. The first question that should be asked is, this antivirus that you purchase, how many users does this antivirus support? Because if the antivirus that he or she bought or purchased is 3 users antivirus, if this antivirus is installed on 300 computers, it is only 3 computers that is protected. The 297 computers are vulnerable.
Okay, Dr. Godwin, let's hold that thought. There's a lot to ponder there. Let's take a break.
What are we doing as a nation to first of all settle?
Welcome back. The conversation is still on enhancing cybersecurity in Nigeria. It's a big deal. And Dr. Godwin, you were just sharing with us some of the preventive measures one can put in place. That's you've talked about for organization and also some tips for individuals. But again, proper monitoring and arrest, of these perpetrators, that is if they are caught. Like you talked earlier from the start, that there is no regulation enough. Not like we don't have regulators in Nigeria. We do have regulators, but when it comes to the proper effective regulation, that's where the challenge lies. Now, having the sophisticated state-of-the-art facilities, talking about the infrastructure in place, what should organizations go for? Because it's very important. I know why I'm asking this question from the organizational level. A lot of people suffer financial loss, aside individuals who suffer financial loss due to fraud, financial fraud. But again, let's talk about the organization, then you delve to the individuals. How do we protect our assets, so to say?
Yes.
Okay.
Our digital assets.
Yes, yes.
The first thing is to develop a standard security policy. A standard security policy is very, very important. Any organization that exists now without a standard cybersecurity policy will fall a victim. In this policy, there is a particular clause that must be put in this policy. BYOD. You must avoid BYOD.
What is BYOD?
BYOD means bring your own device. So in this policy, every organization should avoid their staff, their employee, bringing their devices to the organization.
Computers now.
Yes. Yes.
Everything
Sometimes
should be
it's necessary for a place like me.
No, if you are talking about measured.
Okay, go ahead. You're the expert.
Yes, you're talking about measured. Okay, for instance, if you allow your employee to bring their own computer to the office, and this computer is always connected to your server, and you have created a profile on this same system, that simply means that this system can access your server from any location. And this same system, one day, the brother or sister of this same staff comes to him or her and said, "Uncle, auntie, I need a laptop." And he feels that, okay, this laptop, what am I using it for? Take it, go and do your project and come back. And the staff took the project, the laptop to a state or to another location. And on getting there, he gave it to a friend to help him to start operating. And unfortunately, the friend that is operating is an hacker.
Still on the measure of corporations protecting their data.
Absolutely.
You mentioned that there's a dearth of cybersecurity experts.
Yes.
And then you also said that we have just like about 5% of women in this field.
Yes.
What do you think we should do, or organizations should start doing now, to ensure that they have an expert within that organization who is dedicated solely to monitoring their footprints?
Absolutely. Yes. What the organization can do, apart from raising the policy, is to also call the expert for awareness and education on the implication of cybercrime to the organization. You talk about financial loss.
Yes.
Cybercrime is beyond financial loss. It can also lead to disruption of your service. One, it can also lead to lack of trust. Because if, for instance, as you are here in this platform, you had a breaking news now that a bank where you bank your money has been hacked, you will not finish this program. Everybody will move. So trust will no longer be there. So what the organization can do, develop a strong security policy, one. Two, let your staff and every other members of the group be trained. Three, let there be enough financial support for cybersecurity department. And three, make sure there is enough money pumped into the cybersecurity infrastructure.
In that organization. Another thing, do what we call M&E, monitoring and evaluation on monthly basis. And always have the security report of your organization. And not only that, apart from training the internal staff, make sure you also have an external expert who comes to evaluate, to analyze the state of security as far as your organization is concerned, as far as your data is also concerned.
Now bringing it back home to Nigeria, what can we do to encourage women, girls, to venture into this field?
Yes. Presently, we have a program that we have launched called Tech 1 Million. Through this Tech 1 Million, we've started like 2 weeks now to train Nigerians, but the pilot edition starting from the northern region on cybersecurity. One of it is what we have done at NTA today, yesterday and today, creating this strategic awareness about the implication of this menace that is coming our way. So girls, child, female child, who are science-oriented, who have flair and interest and passion for security, should come. We'll train them. We'll train them.
Is it for free?
Yes, we can. We train them for free. We have a free section and we have a paid section. At least come for the free section, like a month, to have the knowledge. And if you now want to be an expert, cybersecurity is a kind of field that is not the degree per se.
Yes, and you must not be an information technology expert.
Exactly.
Okay.
You must be ready to write certifications because this is what gives you the global recognition.
Okay.
Yes.
And one other burning issue, of course, Dr. Godwin, you agree with me that we have a lot of mobile money operators.
Absolutely.
And this exposes a lot of people to those vulnerability because it comes with important digital components, like token features and all of that.
Absolutely.
You put in your password, you slot in your card. There is that vulnerability in place. How can people protect themselves? Because this is the era where we get to see point of sale operators everywhere. It's big business. You can't take people out of business, but you as the consumer, you can protect yourself. Yes. What should individuals look out for, especially when you're putting in your card, your data?
Yes. If you look at the card has 3 major information.
Yeah.
One is PAN. We call it PAN, P-A-N, personal authentication number.
Okay.
That is PAN, 16 digits, followed by the expiring date. And when you turn the card, you see what we call 3 digits. The 3 digits is called CVV, credit verification value. If I have these 3 digits, what you have with you is plastic ID card. So how do you protect this? Number one, you have to stop compromising this card. You must develop the culture of changing your PIN. Number 2, when you notice data breach or your card has been compromised, you go straight to the bank and to replace the card. There are a lot of app and software now that does not require you entry PIN nor OTP. Just as you said, hackers are intelligent guys. They are intelligent guys, and they come up with different strategies and methods and frameworks on daily basis.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm sure you are aware that they can purchase a car from you and transfer money to you. You receive a lot, and no money is in your account.
Sure. Yes. Yes. Yeah. They even show you the fake alert.
The fake alert. You receive the alert.
You receive the alert.
You will receive the alert. It's as bad as that.
Yes.
Do you get it now? So you have to learn how to change your PIN always. And anytime you notice breach of data, go and change.
How do you notice breach of data? What is the yes?
Okay, take for instance, you give the POS agent your card. And the next thing you notice some body language.
Okay.
That the way and manner of holding the card is as if somebody is photocopying the numbers. It's as if somebody is photocopying the numbers. And what does it take? If a child can come to a church and recite Psalm 119 that has about 150 verses, so what is difficult for people to take 16 digits at a go? So when you notice that there is a photocopy nature of the POS agent or whatever,
some kind of unnecessary delay.
So you need to be very watchful.
No, you definitely. And again, you also need to avoid giving your card to your children, to neighbor. Please go and collect money from me there. So another thing you can do, if you're a businessman, you control some volumes of money, then develop 2 accounts. Develop a culture of having 2 accounts. The account that is networkless,
What I mean by networkless is that I do that. Where I have some little change that I know is valuable to me, I don't have ATM on that account, and I don't have mobile app on that account. If you don't have ATM on an account, you don't have mobile app on an account, and you have also gone to the bank to disable your USSD, if money come out of your account or gone out of your account, then
there will be a red flag.
The financial institution should be held responsible.
Going to be an alert. So before we go too far, I wanted to ask, do you think Nigeria has the requisite regulation to encourage cybercrime studies and to monitor the space out there?
Yes. Nigeria, like in 2019, Nigeria created what we call National Cybercrime Center, a branch of Nigeria Police Force here in Abuja, and they have been doing wonderfully well.
I mean, is it a law? Something
No,
like
it's
a
a
legal
center.
framework?
There's a law. There is a law called the Cybercrime Act 2015
Okay.
that has about 58 sections and 5 parts. And I will advise all listeners to go online, download this Cybercrime Act. Most of the things that have been happening now, government have seen it coming. Some experts have seen it coming, and they have made recommendations to the government. And government too have taken some steps. Though the steps might need to be upgraded, might need to be updated, but creation of awareness about all these things is also very, very important. The NSA is there. They are doing their job as well. The NIA, they are also doing their job. You may not understand, you may not know that these people are working. They are really working. Are you getting my point? But Nigeria is a country that has a very large population, and the cyber criminals too are taking advantage of the unaware citizens, people that are not aware of.
That was why I asked the question.
Yes.
About this, so that you can talk and people will get to understand why the Cybercrime Act is there.
Yes.
And they can look into it and kind of sort of protect themselves.
Exactly. So they need this information to be abreast of what is happening as far as the cybercrime space is concerned.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, Dr. Godwin, of course, following what you just acknowledged, I want to concur with that, because the cybercrime unit of the Nigerian police, I'm not their spokesperson, but from information gathered, they're doing a lot, to put a check to all of that.
Absolutely.
But also response mechanism to mitigate this cyber threat is very important.
Absolutely.
So going forward as a nation, from a larger scale now, I know the federal government have different agencies who are responsible for that.
Absolutely.
But on a larger scale, looking at Nigeria, you talked about the numbers, talking about the population. What should we be doing as a nation to curb some of these cyber threats? Because it is a big deal for us as a nation. It affects the national economic development, one way or the other.
Okay. Yes, I have 6 points.
Okay, go ahead.
Number 1 is policy. There should be a national policy on cybercrime.
You just said there's an act.
There's an act.
Okay.
The act is different from a policy.
Yeah, I know.
Except the act is amended. The act has been enacted. Except it's amended. Don't forget, cybersecurity is a perpetual operation. It's a continuous thing. Now, an act has been enacted since 2015. 2015 to date is 8 years. So the act itself needs amendment to accommodate the standard of threat that is ongoing now. So if the act is not amended to absorb some of the things right now, then let there be a policy. Let there be a national policy on cybercrime that is circulated throughout the whole federation.
I'm sure the Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy will look into that suggestion.
No, absolutely.
Okay, go
Number
ahead.
2 is law. Apart from, this cybercrime, for instance, derive its validity, authority, and power from the Constitution, from the from the Criminal Code Act, the Penal Code Act, and other related laws. All right? These laws also need to be upgraded. They need to be upgraded. Number 3, the institutional capacity building is very important. A cybercrime act should be created in the 6th geopolitical zone of Nigeria, where people probably go to to understand the efficacy and the implication of being a victim. If you are a victim, you understand the gravity of what we're talking about. Number 4 is PPP, public-private partnership. Absolutely, most of the highly sophisticated infrastructure that is needed to curb some of all these things are in the hands of the individuals, private organizations, who have probably traveled abroad, see some of all these things. Some people study abroad about all these things. They have these infrastructures in place. Then government should not neglect the importance and the contributions of the private organization. So the partnership of this with this private organization is sacrosanct and is very important. Number 5 is public enlightenment.
Okay.
The public enlightenment.
Which is what we're doing now.
Which is what we are absolutely doing now. So this program can be coming up every month, which we call Cybercrime Act, what is it called, platform.
You are proposing a new concept for us,
Absolutely.
Dr. Godwin. Okay, what's the 6th one? Tina wants to ask the follow-up question.
The 6th one is the International Law Enforcement Corporation. Because cybercrime is not what a state, a local government, a nation can fight. Yeah. It's not what a state, a local government, a nation can fight. So there must be an international borders cooperation. Africa cooperating with Europe, Europe cooperating with Asia, Asia cooperating with America. Or there should be an intercontinental cooperation, one, international cooperation, interstate cooperation, international cooperation.
So in essence, what you're saying, because of the borderless nature of this crime, we need to collaborate all across.
Absolutely.
And then I want us to link this. Some people might still not get us when we keep mentioning the cyberspace. Okay. In the Nigerian palace, a lot of people know Yahoo, Yahoo boys, Yahoo thing going on. Now let's bring it home to our locals. How smart these our Yahoo boys are, and how it is necessary for people to become more knowledgeable about the cyberspace to be able to clamp down on the cybercrime.
Yes, the information is powerful. Information. Now, with the little I've shared here, I am very, very optimistic that we are not the same again. So people need awareness.
Okay.
Number 2, don't just hear, but act. Majority of these measures we talk about, you need to act on them. Don't neglect them. Because the Yahoo boys, so-called, have also learned cybercrime or cybersecurity in one way, because there are 2 to 3 major types of cyber hacking. We have the gray hackers, the black hackers, the white hacker, the state-sponsored hacker.
Yes, I heard about it.
The activists. We have the activists. So the black hackers are the Yahoo boys.
Okay.
And their intention is to hack and cause destruction. Okay. So you are to have enough education about all these things so as to guide yourself. And not only education, but act on whatever that has been created.
Let's look at the opportunities in cybersecurity.
You have to be brief. We have to round up. Maybe you want to ask
in cybersecurity, if you are an expert in cybersecurity, what I mean by expert, not that I have BSc in cybersecurity or I have PhD in cybersecurity. We're talking about you being certified globally.
Okay.
You've been certified globally. Your education, your degree, your PhD is very, very important. But when it comes to the industrial-based work, the certification is key.
All right. Dr. Godwin, in few seconds, just tell us what is the future of cybersecurity for Nigeria. In few seconds. I don't know how you want to do that.
Yes. In few seconds, the cybersecurity is a continuous threat that will continue to emerge as far as people goes to the internet for one transactions or for one businesses or the other. In other words, the experts must also increase their level of measures to combat this. The hackers are not resting because they also need to gain some things on the cyberspace. So the experts should be ready. And those who are not even aware of anything should come on board.
All right. That's more than few seconds.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ashogbon Oluwayomi Godwin. I hope I got the name right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
He's a cybersecurity, ethnical hacking, forensic investigation, and data protection consultant. Thank you for sharing this information with us. There's a whole lot I've learned, and I'm sure Tina too.
Sure.
We have to go back, Tina, and do some security checks, you know, with our data and all of that.
And our systems at home.
Yes, Tina Abeku is a reporter with the Guardian newspaper. Thank you for your contribution on platform.
You're welcome.
All right, so we have been discussing enhancing cybersecurity in Nigeria. There's a whole lot, you know, out there talking about cybercrime, the threats, but you have a very crucial role to play. Put your eyes out there and stay vigilant so you don't fall victim of those hackers. That's Platform. I'm Ruth Aguwele. Bye.